I just want to compliment you guys, man. Y'all rock shows. Y'all been rocking shows since '91. It's like, I don't care what city I'm in. If I was in like St. Louis last year and y'all was touring. I was on tour with Kid Rock, emceeing his show. Me and him was actually going to come to the show, but we got to the city late. Wherever y'all guys are at, and I'm in town, I'm coming to see Boyz II Men, man. And I think with that foundation of how y'all really carry yourselves and really care about the fans, that's why y'all still around.
Well, all that started from the beginning. I mean, first of all, you know, we were groomed, maybe not at college, but we were groomed in a high school similar to this, where, you know, it was about the music first, it was about the art. And then we got handed over to Michael Bivins from New Edition, who was all about the performance, you know what I'm saying? And we brought along the music package, and then we got handed on to his choreographer, who's Brooke Payne in the industry. I don't know if you guys know him, who's done all of the hottest stuff. So we just been handed on from people who are performers, and we've always been taught that it doesn't matter how many people in the audience, it doesn't matter how you feel that night. When someone pays their money to come see you, you know, somebody could be sitting at home for 3 months holding on to that ticket, just excited, just waiting for that night, and you happen to come on stage, you got a cold, and you just had an argument with your girlfriend and she hung up on you. They don't care about that. Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to give them what they paid to see. And once it's all over, then you can go back and live whatever else you got to deal with. But you have an obligation as an artist to try your best to give 100% every single night when you're on stage. And I know the tough part about today is that years ago, we didn't have to worry too much about off-stage altercations because, you know, we didn't have YouTube and the internet and everybody following you around and things like that. So it's a lot harder for artists to, you know, to really live up to who they're supposed to be now because people are in their grill 24 hours a day versus 15 years ago when all that mattered was when you were on TV, when you did a video, and when you were on stage. And after that, nobody really cared about what else you do. So it's a little bit more difficult today.
I brought that up because I hate to say, but I witnessed y'all being a victim of a shady concert promoter in Detroit. See, Detroit had a concert promoting problem where people would lie and say these artists is going to come and appear, and it got to the point no one believed no one no more, and they weren't coming to the shows. And I know this promoter named Reginald had booked y'all in Joe Louis Arena, and it wasn't that crowded in there, and y'all probably put on the best show I ever seen y'all do, and that touched me. It was like these guys, they didn't cancel. They didn't forfeit. They knew that those diehard fans came to see them, and y'all rocked Joe Louis Arena. And I want to give y'all mad love for that. That's when I became a fan right there. That was real.
Appreciate it. A lot of what we understand is that, you know, kind of piggybacking on Nate, is that, you know, it doesn't matter. You have to go and you have to do your job, and that was the biggest thing that was taught to us. Like, no matter how small, no matter how big, you know, the show is in itself, you know, you got to bring it every night. And that's a work ethic, again, that, you know, we owe a lot of our elders and people that taught us, you know, on how important that really was.
I mean, it's also good that we were taught that too, because, I mean, there has been times when we were in the rebuilding process, and, you know, we hadn't done any shows in the States for such a long time that people would actually, you know, was wondering like where we were. What are they doing? Or have they broken up? And, you know, when we started announcing that we were doing shows, people didn't believe that we were actually coming. So we would go out and it would be like, you know, maybe like 20, 30 people. Yeah. And I mean, imagine after doing like a Joe Louis Arena or Madison Square Garden on New Year's Eve, and, you know, then coming back maybe 10 to 8 years later and people just be like, oh, they did come. So in order to rebuild, you have to prove yourself. And I mean, when we go back to those places where there was 20 people, now there's 1,000 or 5,000. You understand what I'm saying? So the rebuilding process is very important, but more important than the rebuilding process is how you take it, how you perform under those circumstances. Yeah, and that's what we pride ourselves on, you know, just seeing the actual revealing of it all at the end of the day.
I think the biggest accomplishment that we have done being in the business, again piggybacking off him, is the fact that are the things that a lot of people don't see. Like, not just the things that people see, but, you know, but the things that people don't see. Just like Wanye just touched on, there was a period in Boyz II Men's career where it wasn't always so sweet, and we had to swallow a lot of humble pie. in order for us to get ourselves
nasty.
back on. Yeah,
It's
a
nasty
lot of the things that we had to do. Again, a lot of people didn't know, from the small shows to the one incident or whatever, man, that we always talk about in Georgia.
Mechanical bull.
Yeah, listen. Let me tell y'all a quick story. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. This is it, and I'm gonna tell you, this is what you know I'm most proud of, because a lot of artists wouldn't be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? But again, coming off of selling 40 million records at the time, whatever, doing arenas, stadiums all over the world, that whole thing. We went through a period where no one wanted to see us, or no one believed that we would be performing. So we get off the tour bus. I think it's in Columbus, Georgia. I think one of those places in Georgia, okay? Me and Juan and Nate, we all get off the bus. It was hot. And the door to the club that we were performing was open. So we happened to peek through. And in the middle of the club was a mechanical bull.
Now, mind you, we could see all the way through the club.
All the way through.
And see the bull. So
And
that
see
means
the
there wasn't
bull.
nobody in there.
So we look at each other, me and Juan, and said, we're over.
Is this what it's
Like,
come
dude,
to?
it's a wrap. Like, we doing shows with mechanical bulls in the club. Let me tell you, these are things that we went through, and things that a lot of artists will not go through, because their egos are too big, or they think that, you know, they too hot, or they too this, or they too that, things of that nature. Listen, that's the one thing I'm most proud of about being in this group, the fact that we persevered and we endured a lot of shit that a lot of people do not know, and we're still standing here today and people still respect us, and I think it's because of those things that people still respect and love what we do. So, you know, listen, it ain't always sweet. A lot of people think this game is all about, you know, what cats see on BET, and, you know, to some degree, TV is kind of like ruined, you know, aspiring artists' minds, because they swear that, you know, as soon as they get a record deal, they're going out and get a Bentley. That ain't how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of things that are unsexy that you got to do in order for you to get to those things and acquire those positions.